God damn it. I need to stop cussing. I'm back again. Cost me $25. All right. Well, ain't no glamour queen. Listen, what I was getting at is in that book, Numbers, they called us pedigrees. Why don't you look that up? All right. Everybody was a certain pedigree. That means they're an animal, a certain kind of animal. And what I was getting at was that the first five that they talk about was the body, that was the brethren. And then there was six. There were six guys that were talking about that's the chakra. And then they talked about the Levites, that they didn't get numbered. And the Levites were the guys that were supposed to pitch the tent and carry the tabernacle and all that stuff. And of course, they were talking about whenever, they're in charge of this tabernacle, that whenever, when the stranger came by, the tabernacle, once it was set up and a stranger came by, if that stranger was killed, right, he died. And basically, they were the ones to see everything through. They're also the ones that made camp around it to make sure that anybody that did go in that situation, as when they were dead, that they would be taken care of. So this is in the book of the dead and stuff like that. It's just a wonderful little story, but it's the idea that once you've crossed this line, the sixth chakra, and you go into the day of the Lord, and all this hell breaks loose, that you're actually separated from the body in some way, that your soul is up having a great time with the Lord while all this stuff is going on. And of course, we hear these people that are rereading the Dead Sea Scrolls nowadays and putting more life to them. They said, oh no, Ezekiel was taken up to Venus, where he had a great time up there. And when he came back, he was 30 days had elapsed. And he says, no, it just seemed like just moments. But, the 3 is what I was talking about, because he made that connection, 1, 2, and 3. And it's just interesting to find out, that's the last book of Moses. You know that there must be a whole much more of them, because that's as far as it gets, but it's just his people. So it could be that is it, because there is talking about the people. All right. And it's after a long, long drawn out stories of Moses, showing us going up the backside of the mountain, going and seeing God face to face and talking about a burning bush. All these ideas of being consumed and not be, fire burning, but not consuming, just like the guys that were thrown into the, that was taken and put into the furnace. And he says, I've put 3 people in there, and then there was 4th, the Lord showed up and helped him out of that position. And of course, we know ourselves as being this tree that they chopped down to the root to be restored again. And of course, no different that Moses goes up and talks to a burning bush. They're all the same stories, and of course, religion likes to draw it all out, make it, it's a line of progression. And, we've done our stories when it came down to it from the, from in the beginning, that we find that Adam and Eve themselves are about consciousness. To put a seed between the two of them is really the idea that they'll never be able to make babies. She'll have to have godly babies. Is what happens. Is this female side of ours is not being procured by the male side at all. She is in some way the idea. She's the temptress. She's the one that tries to get the beast to take the bait and to become, less of a wild man by this marriage. And this marriage is an electronic marriage of the first commandments. It's given to God, to Moses by God, would be to honor mother and father. And of course, this is the reflection later on in the New Testament as being Elohim, which is made as left and right. The mother and father becomes the the female and the male energies of God and its consciousness, our higher and lower conscious. And in our Bibles, it talks plainly about tossing our nets over to the right side of the boat, talks about building our houses on stone. Of course, we're the ship. We're this wonderful ship where all the brethren and the sisters and mother and father are all in one wonderful package, and this becomes our ark whenever we go under and we go into the wilderness to pray, to pray the Lord for our 3 days. That's what they ask of the Pharaoh in order to let my people go. And of course, Pharaoh was ready to let them go, but it was God that hardened the hearts of the Pharaoh at the end and made him change. He wanted this to be stick. He wanted this to stick in this guy's mind, all the way to the point of killing his first son. All right. But this is about the idea of the exiting being getting out of Egypt, getting out of the lower mind and going into the higher mind. And it's quite a run. And I just went through this in a way. I decided to try to clean up, my life, take on certain things and try different changes. And oh man, it got to where I got a stomach problem last weekend, and the weekend before that. And it was like, wow, what'd you get me out of heaven, pull me out of hell, and now I'm starving. It's been better when I was in hell, just like the scripture, about these guys. And he got mad at those guys because they complained. I told him, I'm not complaining. I just had some kind of a stomach problem that came about. And, and I'm feeling better. But, you're supposed to listen to yourself. That's your brethren. You got to listen to yourself. And it tells you how to remedy things, we're in charge now, but we still have our chiefs and our main bakers and everybody's, they're all still there, but they're saying, oh goodness, Rick, come on. But anyways, living life symbolically, doesn't get you anywhere. It just keeps you on this thing you're turning around and around. Christmas comes, Christmas goes, Christmas comes, Christmas goes. And the sun itself comes down and goes, our cycle when it comes down to, how we, worship God, how we serve the Lord is in the same way. It's this idea of starting in Libra with a virgin mind, as we go balancing our cross, which is what we're doing, and going through being bit by something, that's our backbone. That's not our backbone, but we were given power over the serpents and scorpions and stuff like that, which means that we have total control over this, just like Moses being told by God to reach into his chest, and then to pluck it back out and have, seeing the death and everything in his hand. And then it says, oh, and puts it back in, takes it back out, and everything is changed back to normal. All of these stories are talking about our interior sides, and none of it ever happened in real life. Although we've made a whole world out of it, an entire world. But listen, they had an entire world before this of Jupiter and, all those gods and stuff like that. The Mithra and all, they're just, they're just loaded, and every one of them, every one of those guys have been fundamentally practiced. There was very few people that had this information, and for whatever reason, it was hidden inside these things. And we think that, that God's word's going to move on. The only thing that survives fires is the goddamn Bible, you guys. That's not but, this Elohim, and, it's like, nuts on an animal of some kind. It's God. So either side of this is going to be, it's what we're being pushed and taught. That's what I'm teaching. I say, hey, enjoy your poverty. you know. It's only for those people that want to get out of hell and can understand that. But, there's a good number of people that, doesn't care about stuff like that. And so I have my 30 people. It's about how many I have in my art class. I'll teach, I'll paint with 3 people if they showed up. I don't care. 2, I used to say it was like, when 2 or 3 are gathered, he's in the presence, but that's number 5. When the 5s are all gathered together, whoop ding, that's the 6th chakra. That's basically how it all works. Everybody goes by the water. Somebody goes and hangs out. You remember all those wonderful stories, where people going out in the woods, trying to find this beautiful place, eating corn, stuff like that out in the wilderness. Corn's a good thing. I got corn here. I got peanut corn, classic, from Kilwins, delicious. But anyways, this Christmas, you're gonna have fun with Christmas. There's nothing terrible about Christmas at all. There's nothing along the lines of someone saying that it's pagan. They killed a bunch of pagans. They killed when it was being shut off earlier. It was because I have a time limit. I have unlimited time now. The snakes that they chased off goes to show just how the male dominance of these last few centuries, if not eon, has been permanently. I mean, and not permanently, because it's not so permanent. This energy, this beautiful energy, is a rock somewhere. So it's just there. It's just out of people's eyes. It's just out of some people's reach. It's just not there, but it's there, and it's always going to be there. It ain't going to change. It's this world around us that changes constantly, and it's our bodies. It's the clay that we are ready to be reshapen at any time. As soon as we can shatter those iron legs that the world is standing on, and we stop taking our orders from the brass, right? That's the brass. Ain't that something, the way things work? Because that means you're taking it from the lower side. It's the waste that everything is being, flung from. It's the silver that's the arms and the chest, because this is where the power is. The power is in your arm, it's in your backbone, and the chest that they talk about is the jeweled, is the kundalini. It's this all beautiful. This is the silver. This is you, that you get to operate. And then the gold is up here. The gold would wind up being where we're on our way to. And when we get that bridal business going on like we have back there, that's the horse with the bit in its mouth. And how new age? It's just new age. New age, this is so old age. And it's as if, wow, how can anybody not see it anymore? I can talk to it almost like it's just flowing like water. Like they say, can there be 2 fountains working out of you at one time? It can only have one fountain. Do you want to put out, salt water? Or you want to put out fresh water? So, and, if you want to put out that water, it's not so terrible. But that side, they're talking about is darkness and people that are spiritually dead and stuff like that. There's so much alive and so much healthy and so much vigor and love and life and everything. But, it's just, how can people say that's dead? It's just hard to even tell people that God doesn't kill anything when he's, ranks up as the most murderous person in the Bible. And so, it's just really hard to counter this myth, other than using this Bible code to just show and prove and document just how mechanical the myth is, and people don't run around acting like little robots. Maybe in our future, but not now. So anyways, I just wanted to get on here and tell you really fast, these ideas of bushes burning and trees of fire and all that stuff. It's just you changing. you know, earthquakes in various places. It's our want to look backwards to be a part of this world, because otherwise you feel kind of without. You feel like nobody's going to like you no more. You're going to have, like me, I have friends that probably want to make fun of me, and stuff. But, I find that I don't care. It's always going to be an idiot that's going to, mess everything up. And of course, I'll be the idiot. But all I'm really doing is just wanting to show other people how to get the spots. And it's not. I guess it is my fault for learning this stuff and wanting to spread it around and teach people how to do it themselves. And so, I can take the ridicule and I don't care. What other people eat don't make me shit. You have to understand that. And it takes quite a few years growing up to come to a point where, I don't have to ask permission or to have somebody's recognition or approval to do what I do. And I wonder who would I have to go and get it cleared with, one of the local preachers, something like that. Ask the Pope what he thinks about what I say. I don't think so. But it's the truth as I find it, and it's in everything. And so it keeps it from being my opinion, It's a discovery, and it's well documented, and I keep documenting more and more every time I get a chance to. And everywhere I find it, I see this code and I bring it on, and I say, like, I have 30 people going out there trying to shed a little bit of light into the world. And it's just the simplest thing that we can do. Don't cost nothing. And just as that is that, it's just the idea of changing your mind from a half-brained individual to one that serves God, serves the Lord, whichever one you want to call him, whatever you want to call him. If you want to serve him this way, because this is the only way that works. There's only one way. The religion's got thousands of ways. They got over 50 books and stuff like that, and none of them going to complain. None of them are going to sing anything beautiful. There's not going to be a truth come out of any other book other than the King James Bible, because it still has all those special little words, all those wonderful little things that will help you gain an ear for things as I tell you these stories, and see an eye as you can start to read and see these things, and then have this beautiful, wonderful heart turned into this great knowledge center of some kind. And you have connected in a position where it says you are on your way. You are found that road that's less traveled. And it shows by us just only being like 30 people. And that's a good number, And so, it's not about having a mess of friends and stuff like that. But once you get a good hold on how this is, and you can turn around and teach somebody else this thing as simple as it is, you should in some way help bring more light into the world, because we don't want to be one of those guys. They say that we would, if a master gave there was like 3 people in the story, and the master gave these 3 guys, some kind of gift, some money or something. And the first 2 of the story did a good job, took their money and did something with the number 4, and he came out of it, in the higher zone. Thank you, God. Thanks for that lift. The second guy, the same thing. He took that beautiful gift that he had gotten, and he spread it, and he took it and made a profit out of it, made it grow. Whereas the third person in this group, the number 3 doesn't always mean that you connect. It's always that things are in duality. And this third person that he gave this gift to, he took it, put it in the earth, dug a hole, put it in the earth, and hid it. And he gained nothing. So it's just something to think about. You know, because we don't all have to go out there, don't have the gift to teach people, you know. And even me, I can't speak correctly all the time, and I can cuss up storms, things, and, you know, but I've been tasked in teaching you guys, you know, and if you can't handle how I talk or something like that, you know, tough shit, you know. This ain't meant for everybody, you know. And if you're just too dainty, you know, to deal with it, you know, you can't take it, you know, go on somewhere else, you know, go and find your little fluffy little spiritual God, because that ain't had nothing to do with this Lord serving him correctly. There ain't no bit of dogma, no bit of garbage like that. Not one single bit of that religious mumbo crap, dogma, crying and sucking and all that. No. All he cares about you is coming home. And when you go up in there and you say hey to him, you'll be in spirit. He'll be in spirit. You'll know nothing of it. But eventually, everything will start working in your favor. Just in some way, things will just get brighter, you know? And nothing gotta go push or nothing like that. To me, I just watch. Watch. Yeah. Well, I'll be back before all this is over with, so, you know, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all you guys. Like I said, don't be afraid to do all this pagan shit. You know, that's the closest thing to God as you could possibly get, even if it's sky and star worshiping. It's how the stars move in the sky, and all those things up there, the heavens are in us. They're up there. We are it. You know, we are the brethren. We are that 12 zodiac signs up there. We are all of them. We are everything. The sun is in here. The moon is in here. We're all in here. Everything is in here. As above, so below. And ain't nothing scary and nothing superstitious about any of that shit. Not one damn thing. One damn thing. Happy holidays, and I'll chat with you soon. All right? I got more to show you. There. Everything is new.